Welcome back, my little researchers. Today we're going to keep talking about birds and how they use their beaks to survive. Yesterday we talked about 3 birds that use their beaks in different ways. And thanks to you guys, I was able to fill out the next section of our chart, of our notes. So yesterday we talked about the hummingbird, the eagle, and the woodpecker. And we described the beak for the hummingbird as long and thin. And we said the hummingbird can reach into flowers for nectar. We described the eagle's beak as hooked. Or another word that we learned is curved. And with that hooked beak, they can tear the scales and flesh off of a fish. And we also learned that woodpeckers had a sturdy and strong beak, which they use to pound holes in trees to find insects or to hide the acorns that they find. You guys helped me complete this chart, but there's so many more birds that we had to learn about that I had to make a complete new chart. So here is how do birds use their beaks to survive part 2. And we're going to get back to that a little bit later. Our learning target for today is I can research information about different types of birds' beaks using the text's beaks. We're still in this same book, and I'll make sure to post the pictures just like I did yesterday so that you guys can refer back to them if you need more help. Now, we learned about a few different types of beaks and how they help birds. So far, we have 5. Today, we're going to learn how some different birds use their beaks, okay? Now, we're going to only read 3 pages in our book today. And one of the words that I want you guys to listen to or listen out for is strainer. Strainer means a sieve or another device used to filter or separate solids and liquids. Solids means like something hard or that you can't like poke something through basically. And a liquid is like water or juice, okay? So one of our birds has a strainer on their beak. So make sure you're listening out for that word as we continue reading. The first bird that we're going to learn about is a flamingo. Our heading says, beaks are even made upside down. Wow, I would have never guessed. Flamingos is our subheading. A flamingo's beak looks ridiculous until you see how a flamingo eats. Flamingos feed with their heads upside down. Standing in shallow lakes and marshes, they draw water through their beaks by using their muscular tongues and as pumps. Special strainers in the beak filter out the tiny plants and animals that the flamingo eats. Pigments in these foods give flamingos their bright, dizzying colors. Wow, I just learned so much about flamingos from these few sentences. So flamingos eat upside down. They put their heads in the water and go just like this. So their beak is this way. The top of their beak is like the bottom. And it has a strainer to filter out the water and let the water go back down into the lakes and marshes and keep the food in. And that food gives them those beautiful colors that they have. And our next heading says a skimming beak. And it's a bird called a skimmer. Like the flamingo's beak, a skimmer's beak looks like an accident. The bottom bill is longer than the top. Remember, bill is another word for beak, okay? The skimmer puts its backwards beak to good use. To hunt, the bird flies with its lower bill slicing below the water's surface. And when it strikes the fish, the bird snaps its beak shut, trapping the fish in a scissor-like grip. And this way, skimmers can catch fish without even getting wet. So it says that the skimmer's bottom beak is longer than the top beak. So it flies through the air and puts the bottom beak in the water and just catches it like that. And it doesn't even get wet. And the last page that we're going to read today, the heading says a swishing beak. And it has this bird here. It almost looks like a flamingo, but the beak is a little different. Let's read about it. Spoonbills. This bird is called a spoonbill. Spoonbills have flat, paddle-shaped beaks. To find food, spoonbills wade into shallow water and swish their open beaks back and forth. At the same time, the birds use their feet to stir up mud and the animals in it. Like skimmers, they hunt by touch, snapping their beaks closed on insects, fish, and other prey. Hunting in groups probably helps spoonbills stir up more food than hunting alone. So this bird puts its beak down in the water and moves the water around. And it also uses its feet to kick up that water and the mud underneath so that those insects down in the mud come up into the water. And then its bill goes snap. And everything goes in. Based on these three birds that we talked about today, we are going to fill in our chart, part 2. So I've already put our birds on here. Flamingos, skimmers, and spoonbills. And I need your help because I know you guys are great listeners and you had those listening ears on the whole entire time to tell me what the beak looks like or describe the beak using an adjective. And then how does the beak help the bird survive? What does a flamingo's beak do for it? What does a skimmer's beak do? And what does a spoonbill's beak do? Just like yesterday, you can pick 2 out of the 3, okay? You can do a flamingo and a skimmer and a spoonbill, a flamingo and a spoonbill, however you want to mix it up. But you can do 2 out of the 3 and tell me an adjective to describe the beak and how the bird uses its beak to survive. I will post the pages that we read today in our slides so that you can look back at them because it's always important as researchers to look back at the source or the text that we've used, okay? I can't wait to see the work that you guys do, and I'll check in with you later at math. Have fun learning. See you soon.